I got to stop somewhere. There's a story I'm reminded of as I go to my seat. There was this man that was very blessed. He worked on a wonderful job, lived in a beautiful home, drove a beautiful, luxurious car, was always the picture of health. His next door neighbor was one of his closest friends, and he was a child of God. His only nuisance, irritation of life, was that even though his next door neighbor was one of his closest friends, his next door neighbor was an atheist. And many times when he'd come home, the atheist would walk over from his yard and meet the man in his driveway and began to debate with him, how did he know there is a God? How can he prove there is a God? How can he stay faithful to a God? And the man would end the debate by just looking at the man and telling him, he's still God. Well, just like anybody else, trouble found the man's address. Sickness hit his body. He went from doctor to doctor, test after test, and finally they discovered that he was sick with a rare disease that they had yet to find a cure for. When he came home that day from getting the doctor results, his friend came and met him in his yard and asked him, what did the doctor say? When he heard the report, he shook his head and asked his friend, how can you stay faithful to a God that'll let you get sick with an incurable disease? He just looked at him and said, he's still God. Because the man was getting sicker and sicker in and out of the hospital, he was missing a lot of days from work. And one day when he went to work, the boss called him in, told him he had to let him go. When the friend saw that he was home earlier than usual, he walked over and met him in his yard to see what was wrong. When he heard that he had lost his job, he shook his head and said, how can you stay faithful to a God that'll let you get sick with an incurable disease and now lose your career? He just looked at him and said, he's still God. Because the man was no longer working and medical bills were piling up. It got to a time where he had to start making some hard financial decisions. And one day while his neighbor was walking out of his front door, he saw the man's beautiful car being towed away. He walked over to his friend and said, how can you stay faithful to a God that'll let you get sick with an incurable disease, lose your career, and now lose your possessions? He just looked at him and said, he's still God. This went on for about 2 years. Until finally, one day the man came home in a brand new, luxurious car. Drove up in the driveway while his friend was watering his lawn. But that day he got out of his car and walked over to the friend's yard. And the friend asked him, what do you have there? He said, I couldn't wait to get home to tell you about my day. It started off with me going to the doctor to get some test results. And the doctor told me that he could not find any more sickness in my body. I then went to a job that I had an interview with the other week. And when I got there, they gave me the job. But this job is better than the one I lost. This job has a bigger office. This job has a bigger salary. This job has bigger benefits. It even came with the signing bonus. I took the signing bonus and I went to the dealership and bought this brand new car. And I came straight home just to tell you he's still God. Ain't the Lord all right? And The atheist stood there in astonishment. He said, how in the world did you stay so faithful? The man went in his pocket and pulled out a $20 bill. He asked the atheist, what is this? The atheist said, it's $20. He balled it up in his hand and then asked the atheist, what is it now? The atheist said, it's $20. He threw it on the ground, stepped on it in the dirt, picked it back up again and said, what is it now? The atheist said, it's $20. He walked over to a water puddle, dragged it through the mud, walked back to the atheist and said, what is it now? The atheist said, it's still $20. The man said, that's all I'm trying to tell you. I've been balled up. I've been thrown down. I've been stepped on. I've been dragged through the mud. But I'm still his child. Ain't the Lord all right? I'm gone now, children, through with y'all tonight. But I got to tell you, I do not care how rough it got this day. I do not care how much you had to go through in this year. I got good news for you that you're gonna make it, because at December 31st, he's still God and you're his child. Ain't the Lord all right? My shout tonight is, through everything I went through this year, he was still right there. Ain't the Lord all right? But the shout is, there's another word inside the word there. The word there, T-H-E-R-E, got the word here in it, H-E-R-E, which simply means before he was there, he was already here. Ain't he all right? He was here for me one Friday morning when they put a cross upon his shoulder. They marched him up Calvary Mountain. I got to quit here. Good evening, y'all. God bless your heart. I got to leave you now. But before I go, I got one more thing. I got to tell you, he was still there when they nailed his hand, rivet his feet, hung him high, stretched him wide. He dropped his head in the locks of his shoulder. You know what he did, Mount Olive. He died. Anybody know he died? They laid him down in a borrowed tomb. But thank God for Jesus. On Friday morning, Jesus was there for me. But on Sunday morning, Jehovah was there for Jesus. And early, I said early, Sunday morning, got out the grave, heard him saying, I got all power, all power, all power, all power. Ain't he all right, y'all? I say, ain't he all right? Is it anybody here can testify with me? Through it all, he's still there. Well, I got a challenge for you. Don't wait to shout till it hit midnight. Don't wait to shout till you wake up in a new year. But you ought to praise him in advance because you believe if he was there for me in 19, he gonna be there for me in 20. Wish I had a witness here. Turn to your neighbor, hold their hand. I said hold their hand. Hold it real good. Hold it real firm. Give it a good shake. I said, neighbor, don't worry about it. In 20, that child is coming back home. He's still right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Hey! Hey! Ain't he all right? I need one more witness. Turn to your other neighbor. Put your arms around him. Hold him like you love him. Hold him like a child of God. Rock him and reel him. Reel him and rock him. Said, neighbor, shout with me. Praise him with me. I got some blessings that's on the way. I got some healing that's on the way. I got some breakthrough that's on the way. Simply because he's still there and he's still God. Yeah! Yeah! Say yeah! 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 Ain't he all right? You ought to tell 3 people he's still there. He is here. He is here. He is here. Ooh! 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 Can anybody praise him? Can anybody thank him? Can anybody testify? Through all I've been through, he was still right there. At the end of October, I was preaching a revival service in Ardmore, Oklahoma. While I was getting dressed, my children called me and told me they were on their way to take their mama to the hospital. They said they don't know what's happening. Look like she's having a stroke. I got on my knee. I said, Lord, I promise you and made agreement with you. I'll go where you want me to go. Preach like you want me to preach. If you just take care of my family while I'm gone, I'm going to go on to church tonight. I'm going to do my part. I need you to do your part. I went on and preached that night. When I got off the call, when I got that down, I pulled out my phone. They text called me. When I ran to the back, they said my wife had a stroke. I said, Lord, I made you a promise that if you take care of my family, I'd go preach for you. I done my part. Need you to do your part. I changed my flight. Stapleton came and preached for me. I flew back home to Mississippi. When I walked in the hospital that next day, she was still in the emergency room. I went to fussing. They got her in a room. They were still running tests, but I kept saying in the back of my mind, Lord, I did my part. I need you to do your part. About 6 o'clock that that evening, the neurologist came in. They said, I can't explain it. I don't understand it. But all the results that we saw last night, that you had a stroke, we can't find it no more. I told God, you still right there, right there, right there. Oh, hallelujah.